Buffalo roam. You're watching the Pac-12 on ESPN, and a pivotal Pac-12 showdown today. From a mile high, it's the Colorado Buffaloes, their home finale. Emotional day, it's senior day against the UCLA Bruins, who come into this one really needing a victory. A look at the Pac-12 standings, and UCLA 19-9 overall, but 10-6, tied for third with Stanford. Arizona still on top of the conference, and USC playing well, a half game behind the Wildcats. Along with former Arizona standout Corey Williams, Roxy Bernstein with you. And for UCLA today, Corey, Martin Levy, the old football coach, had a line about a must-win game. And he was asked, is this a must-win game? He goes, no, it's a game we really need to get. World War II was a must-win. But for UCLA, this is a game they really need to get.
That's an understatement. It's a game they have to have. When you look at what they want to accomplish in terms of postseason play, they got to take care of business here against the Buffs and then try to knock off the Trojans and tie for second. And then who knows what could happen in the tournament. But the Bruins do not want to be on the bubble.
Let's take a look at UCLA's resume, and here's what stacks up for them. And keep in mind, they still have a game with USC next week on the road to the Galen Center before Vegas in the Pac-12 tournament. RPI of 48, BPI at 61, and they do have some quality wins. And keep in mind, that was a full Arizona squad they beat in Tucson.
That resume speaks for itself. I think they're a tournament team, but they've got to handle business. That's all in their hands, and it starts today against the Buffs.
UCLA and Colorado, the Bruins and the Buffs in this critical Pac-12 matchup. We'll tip it next from Boulder.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Walt Disney World Resort and Esurance, auto and home insurance for the modern world.
Beautiful day in Boulder, and we have a big Pac-12 matchup for you at the Coors Event Center. It's the home finale for Colorado, which means senior day, as 4 Colorado seniors taking the floor for the final time here at the Coors Event Center. And Corey, senior day, you went through this. It's emotional for players like Don Collier and George King with such big impacts on this program.
Very emotional day. You spend 4 years, sometimes even 5, playing in a gym, the home crowd, the atmosphere. It's just too much to take in one game. That's why you have to focus, choke back the tears, and get out there and play basketball one last time in front of everybody who loves you.
And George King, certainly emotional, has had a great career here in Colorado as a senior who's 4th in the Pac-12 in rebounding. And King, who today, for the Buffs, making his 67th career start. So Colorado, Buffs are playing for seeding at the Pac-12 tournament. They're 15-13 overall, 7-9 in the conference, tied with Arizona State. While UCLA also is playing for seeding because the Bruins, if you could finish in the top 4, and UCLA tied for 3rd in the conference, but if you finish in the top 4, you get a bye into the quarterfinals, which is a big deal as far as the Pac-12 tournament goes.
You're talking about playing that many games in 3 days. The less you have to play, the better odds you have.
And let's face it, the Pac-12 tournament is going to be wide open.
Absolutely wide open. With everything that's happened in the conference in the past few days, there are no locks going over to Vegas.
Colorado wins the opening tip. Buffs, who have lost 3 straight coming in, including USC, came in here and got them on Wednesday as the Trojans shot 55% and went 10 of 20 from 3. Shot clock at 10. Here's George King. The kick to Dallas Walton. And the redshirt freshman center missing from the corner. Gigi Goleman clears for the Bruins. Inside, Thomas Welsh, who had a big game against Colorado the first time around. And Welsh missing the hook. Offensive rebound, Goleman underneath, and a putback by Gigi.
Great effort right there by Gigi. When you see the shot go up, you can't take a step back on D right there. Goleman goes straight to the rim, comes up with it. They got that dual big man attack for the Bruins.
There's McKinley Wright, the freshman point guard, who's already set the single season freshman assist record in Colorado history. As Dominic Collier A three for Colorado, and the senior, who normally comes off the bench, getting the start on senior day and an early impact.
Taking advantage of that adrenaline right there. Senior day wasn't a great pass, but still able to knock it down from distance.
Errant pass picked up by Colorado, and George King ahead to Tyler Bay. And the freshman is a shot blocked by fellow freshman Chris Wilkes. Aaron Holiday, a transition three for the Bruins.
What can you say about Aaron Holiday, one of the top players in the conference? Transition three with a defender in his face. He's a big-time player.
Holiday third in the Pac-12 in scoring and second in assists, having a phenomenal junior season. Broken up, out of bounds, last touch by Colorado. It belongs to UCLA. As Steve Alford, in his 5th season in Westwood, has reached the Sweet 16 in 3 of his first 4 seasons, and is on the precipice of another 20-win season with UCLA coming in at 19-9. Colorado won the first matchup at Pauley back in the middle of January. 68-59, the Buffs winning on the road. As the offensive rebounder, at least Aaron Holiday, picked up the loose ball off the deflection. And then a foul will put Holiday at the line for the Bruins.
That's just all heart right there by Holiday. Everybody else getting back on defense. He goes in, picks the ball up, and then takes it in and draws the foul. Just extra effort right now from Aaron Holiday.
Dallas Walton called for the foul. Aaron Holiday, who's 10th in the Pac-12 at 84% from the line, hits the first. As Tad Boyle, the second best winning percentage in Colorado history, and he owns 5 of Colorado's 9 20-win seasons. They've had 9 20-win seasons all time, and Tad Boyle has 5 of them, as Dom Collier lost his shoe in the process of committing a turnover for going over and back.
Both coaches going with a little strategy. Tad Boyle dropping back into a zone after made baskets. And right there after the free throws, you see the trap by UCLA.
You think on senior day he'd lace them up a little bit tighter with that adrenaline going.
Got to make sure. Oh, these shoes nowadays are so lightweight. Somebody steps on your toe, shoe comes flying off. Turnover.
You ever lose a shoe?
No, never lost a shoe. Never lost it. Well, playing pro ball, but not in the college ranks. Not in the college ranks.
In the pro ball, you were a little bit looser.
Exactly.
Lute Olson wouldn't stand for that.
I paid for my shoes playing pro ball. That's why I never lost them.
Jalen Hands, a 3. And UCLA, a couple of threes. They're up 6. 7 straight for the Bruins.
You know, Rox, you talked about the time when these guys hooked up earlier in the season, and the Buffs really took it to them at Pauley Pavilion. They were aggressive. George King had a monster game, lots of dunks, wide open threes. And you wondered if they could establish that tempo at home and try to recreate that.
Lucas Seward off the bench, hustling to keep it alive, and a 3 rattles out from George King, who had 6 threes in their win at UCLA back in the middle of January. Went for a season-high 26 as Chris Wilkes was looking for a call, didn't get it. The steal, Holiday takes it right back. Holiday missing a 3. And the rebound, hustling Lucas Seward up the deflection for the Buffs.
Right now, Colorado having a little problem handling the rock.
A 3 off the mark from McKinley Wright, the 4th. Out of bounds, it belongs to CU. Already 4 turnovers for Colorado, and turnovers have been an ongoing issue for Tad Boyle. And the Buffs this season, they turn it over 14.5 times per game. One of the highest turnover numbers in the conference. And look, when you have a freshman point guard, you're going to have turnover.
Yeah, and that comes with the territory. But at the end of the day, you got to have guys taking care of the ball, making better decisions on how to pass and who's open. A lot of these one-on-ones and bad passes, it's just guys not concentrating.
Foul on Chris Wilkes, his first, as Lucas Seward to the line, the sophomore from Brazil. 79% foul shooter. Seward has really come on the last few weeks. Really playing at a high level. Last 7 games averaging 10.5 points per game. Has made better than 50% from 3 during the span, 11 of 21.
You say that's what he brings to the table. He's a 4-5 player that can shoot the 3. Buffs try to go 4 out, 1 in with him. Let him get his outside shot off.
Double figures in 4 the last 7 for Seward after only 2 previously this year. And Tad Boyle really likes what he sees from the emerging Lucas Seward. Holiday pressured. Outstanding defense from McKinley Wright. And sometimes you got to just tip your cap. But then Holiday called for a technical foul for jawing after the play. An unsportsmanlike technical on Holiday as McKinley Wright played good defense, but Holiday just made a great offensive play.
Come on, that's not unsportsmanlike. What's unsportsmanlike is that move. Holiday, 1-on-3 off the glass, a little too excited, had to let the defense know about it, and the officials don't take kind to the commentary.
You can't say anything. And that's what the officials have been cracking down on. There was a memo that was sent out to crack down on the unsportsmanlike conduct, and you can't say anything.
Right now, Holiday with a big smile. He knows he got caught talking a little trash. This is a nice move. Takes some contact. Could have got and one off the glass. But right there, a few words right in front of the official within earshot. Even Steve Alford.
And it also goes as a personal foul in Holiday. So the technical counts as a personal, his first, and it's a 4-point lead for UCLA after Lucas Seward hit both free throws. But we've seen the crackdown, not just in the Pac-12, but across college basketball for that. The players are going to have to adjust. Dallas Walton rims off with the rebound, controlled by Thomas Welsh. And UCLA is Colorado, just 1 of 8 from the field. Holiday with 6 points already to lead UCLA. Jalen Hands in the lane, way short. Looking at his hands if it slipped.
Great defense right there by George King.
Lucas Seward for 3.
Exactly what we were talking about, the pick and the pop from the big fella. You got to help and rotate, and he only needs an inch to get that shot off. What a good-looking shot.
Seward scored the last 7 for Colorado. Buffs in the zone. This gave UCLA problems the first time around as Chris Wilkes missing the 3. George King clears.
Right there you see Tad Boyle and the Buffs willing to stay in that zone until somebody knocks down a 3. They're going to stay in it.
McKinley Wright to the basket, and Colorado has the lead.
Beautiful ball movement by the Buffs. That was textbook right there. Ball movement, unselfish play, and the crowd starting to get into this one.
Thomas Welsh squares up, rattles out. Rebound tip to Holiday, missed a putback. And it's controlled by Colorado. Here comes McKinley Wright. 7 straight for the Buffs. George King, shot blocked by Thomas Welsh, and a foul is called. And Colorado heading to the line as the Buffs, they're rolling right now.
This is what you want to see out of your team at this point in the season. Guys anticipating, sharing the rock right there. A little backdoor cut, McKinley off the glass as the Buffs hooking each other up with the assists.
Seven straight for the Buffs. Colorado leading UCLA 12-11 here in Boulder. And Corey, the news the last 48 hours, I know has been a bit surprising, and you're an Arizona alum. We'll get to the news in a second, but I just want to get your reaction to what has transpired surrounding your alma mater the last 48 hours.
Well, you know, this news has been troubling on so many fronts. It's been widely reported what's been discussed, but like a lot of people, I'm waiting to see what actually took place. And unfortunately, we may not have those answers for months to come. So at the pivotal point in the season, which is the postseason, we got a lot of players, a lot of coaches that are forced to continue under a cloud of scandal and suspicion, and it's just a real unfortunate time.
And LaFonso Ellis said it well yesterday in studio, and he talked about, look, this is America. You're innocent until proven guilty.
Absolutely. We're always going to have to wait for the actual report to be public, and everything deserves context. Now, it doesn't look good, and a lot of people are talking about it, but like I said, for these coaches and these players to continue on at a pivotal time, it's very difficult.
And again, here is the news and what has transpired. This is a report according to our Mark Schleybaugh, as Sean Miller was allegedly captured on FBI wiretap discussing a $100,000 payment to ensure DeAndre Ayton signs with Arizona. And of course, DeAndre Ayton, one of the top players in college basketball. And just in January, Book Richardson, who was charged with 6 felonies related to the corruption scandal, which the FBI was investigating, was fired by Arizona, and he was back in September when it all went down. As George King missing the first of 2 free throws, so certainly a scary time for the Arizona program.
Definitely when you talk about what Arizona basketball means to the Pac-12 and obviously to the fan base and all the fan bases in college basketball, having their schools investigated and be the subject and be in the news in a negative fashion, it's very stressful for a lot of people.
2-point lead now for Colorado, 1 for 2, George King at the line. And the Buffs have scored the last 8 straight. This is a critical game for UCLA. Trying to get to 20 wins as Chris Wilkes attacks the basket. The flush and one. Strong take by Chris Wilkes.
And that's what it's going to take against the zone. You can't hesitate. You have to be aggressive. Right here, don't settle for the jumper. Take it to the rim. Nobody rotates. And the easy jam right there. You'll be looking at and one. Big time move. Good seal right there by the post.
Foul on Tyler Bay as Wilkes gives UCLA the lead again. First points for the freshman from Indianapolis. He started all 29 now for UCLA as Prince Ali checks in for the Bruins. Also in is Alex Olashinsky. The kick to Naaman Wright, corner 3, rattles home for the transfer from Missouri, the LA native.
Table was set very nicely by McKinley there, the penetration and the assist.
Colorado 3 for 5 from downtown. Wilkes down the lane. Tyler Bay blocks the shot. McKinley Wright on the drive and kick. Naaman Wright. Missing that 3. Tyler Bay, the offensive rebound and putback.
Tyler Bay off the bench in the game, making an impact. The big block at one end and the putback.
Largest lead for Colorado. Deshaun Schwartz in the game, the freshman from Colorado Springs for the Buffs. As the runner, too strong from Aaron Holiday. Thomas Welsh, no reset of the shot clock. Holiday, a 3, rattles home.
Oh, he is so tough. You have to get on his level. He is not shaken by the crowd or turnovers or bad plays. He just keeps coming at you all game.
Second 3 for Aaron Holiday. What a season for Aaron Holiday. He has been phenomenal for the Bruins. Shot clock at 5, offensive foul, a push-off on McKinley Wright, the freshman point guard for Colorado. 1-point game here in Boulder.
Right now, the Bruins making a statement, but right here, it's all about Bay with the block. And at the other end, a little hustle, offensive putback as the Buffs out in front early.
One-point lead for Colorado. Some Sunday afternoon hoops for you from Boulder as the Buffs up on UCLA. And a look at the resumes for the Pac-12 teams. And in the latest bracketology from Joe Lunardi, Corey, he has 3 teams in the field with Arizona, Arizona State, and USC now among the last 4 in. With UCLA among the first 4 out, Utah and Washington right there as well.
Well, you know I love Joey brackets, but it's been an on-again, off-again love affair with the Pac-12. Here you see very good resumes across the board. Those last 3, UCLA, Utah, and Washington, all at certain times during the season were in. And now you're looking at first 4 out, last 4 out. Guys got a lot of work to do. Las Vegas and the Pac-12 tournament will be more important than I think it ever has been to the conference this year.
And that's why this game is so big for UCLA.
Bruins can kind of separate themselves and do themselves a really big favor with 2 wins over the next week.
Aaron Holiday trapped up top. And a travel is called. Aaron Holiday claiming he was fouled, but a travel called in UCLA with their second turnover. So Joe Lunardi, here is the last 4 in, and UCLA is in the field right now according to Joey Brackets. And then among the first 4 outs, or rather UCLA, beg your pardon, among the first 4 out from Joe Lenard. They're the second team out of the field right now. Lazar Nikolic in, a freshman from Serbia for Colorado. Shot clock rolling down on the Buffs. Dallas Walton with the bank and the hook. How about that move?
We talked with Coach Tad Boyle this morning about the improvement in his game. He's coming along nicely. He wouldn't have made that play earlier in the season, but with the shot clock winding down, you see the confidence, the nice polished move off the glass.
Well shot to feet from Holiday. Rattles out, and the rebound Naaman Wright for CU. Deshaun Schwartz, transition 3. And the rebound, Holiday. Ahead, getting behind the defense and the slam for Alex Olashinsky.
Great vision right there by Holiday, bringing the ball up the court, keeping his eyes on his big man.
UCLA sitting in his own is Chris Smith in the game, the freshman from Chicago. Naaman Wright down the lane, runs over Olashinsky, and it's an offensive foul.
2 nice plays right there by Olashinsky, getting ahead of the defense for the easy dunk. But right here, you want your big men to have this kind of discipline. Come over, sacrifice your body, and get us the ball. You don't have to block the shot, just take the charge.
Good call by Chris Rastatter. We have a very good crew working this Sunday afternoon game with Tony Padilla, who's worked Final Fours, Chris Rastatter, Eric Curry, and Alex Olashinsky outside the restricted circle clearly was in position to pick up that offensive foul. And there is an offensive foul going back the other way. This one is on Olashinsky for an illegal screen.
Little breakdown in communication. He's talking to Aaron Holiday saying, hey, slow down, wait for me to get set, because if you start moving while I'm moving, there you see he gets labeled with the foul. You got to be at a complete stop.
George King missing a corner 3. Prince Ali skies for the rebound. UCLA controls. Looking to reclaim the lead. Got a mismatch here with Walton guarding Holiday. Holiday on the drive. Couldn't get it to go, and Dallas Walton clears.
Walton at the end of the day has that wingspan. He can make up for a lot of space with that long wingspan, be able to contest layups in the paint.
Backdoor for McKinley Wright, blocked by Chris Smith. Prince Ali transition 3. And going over the back, it's on Gigi Goleman.
This is a nice play. This is a guaranteed 2 points. Smith rotates over and makes a clean block, denying the Buffs 2 points, and they get in transition. Heads up defensive play right there.
Aaron Holiday getting a breather for UCLA as Jalen Hands comes back. Ten to shoot. Lucas Seward. 3. Second 3 for Seward, who has 10 to lead all scorers.
What a luxury. The shot clock's winding down, and your forward man pops out for a 3. Hey, guys, give me the rock. I'll knock you down.
And then Seward breaks up the pass and the steal, and Chris Smith fouled him.
Playing some inspired basketball right now. A couple of threes, and then he shoots the passing lane like he's a quick guard.
The crowd is energized. They're buzzing here on senior day. Emotions for Colorado running high in the home finale.
Last home game, you got your seniors out here. A great storied program like UCLA coming. Can understand why we're packed. And the crowd is definitely into this one.
And the C unit, the student section here on the baseline. has been into it from the start. George King, the step back. Stays with UCLA. Colorado enjoying their largest lead of the ball game. Everybody rising here in Boulder. They're pumped.
Right here, you see the senior with the step back and the splash, looking to have a big afternoon.
Colorado up 6 on UCLA. 7:41 remaining first half in Boulder. And let's take a look at what to watch for, presented by Taco Bell and Aaron Holiday. Right now in the conversation for Pac-12 Player of the Year. He has 20 or more in 11 of the 16 conference games, the most by a UCLA player since Don McClain did it back in 1991-92. And Don McClain is the all-time leading scorer in the history of the conference.
Legendary. The legendary Don McClain.
At some point, hopefully, UCLA will retire his number. And McKinley Wright, the outstanding freshman for Colorado, who has already set the single-season freshman assist record, breaking Chauncey Billups' record.
And that's got to be great for Tad Boyle. You get your hands on a talented freshman who can spread it around and make others better.
Holiday missing with that three, and the rebound, Dom Collier. Colorado's bench has come to play also. The Buffs so far, 13 points off the bench. George King missing a three, and Dallas Walton picks up his second foul, goes over the back of Thomas Welch. And Seward with 10 of those 13 points. And the Colorado bench this year, among the top reserve units in the conference, they average over 23 points per game from their reserves, which is a pretty significant number. It's a little distorted because in a non-conference game against South Dakota State, the bench put up 95 points.
I'm pretty sure they were in good shape. Anytime you can clear the bench, you get 95 out of guys. But I played a lot of bench minutes in college, and it's not easy.
Tad was upset with his starters. He benched a number of his starters in that game as Chris Wilkes with a three for UCLA. So he brought his starters off the bench essentially in that game. And that's how they got 95.
Way to send a message. Tad Boyle, no-nonsense coach, runs a tight ship.
Spins out for Collier. Rebound tipped out of bounds. Last touch by Wilkes. And it stays with Colorado. Patience from the Buffs. George King, three.
George King is the player that the Colorado Buffs seem to live and die by. When he plays well, they're almost unbeatable. Right now, he's off to a great start.
5 threes for Colorado. Aaron Holiday missing that, had a good look. Loose ball, Lucas Seward picks it up for Colorado. And a foul, it's on Chris Smith, his second. That's the 7th team foul against UCLA. It puts Colorado into the bonus, and a 1-and-1 for Dominic Collier.
And right now, UCLA has struggled with their on-the-ball one-on-one defense. They've been getting beat off the dribble, and now you see the foul total is up. And with less than 6 minutes to go, they're already in the bonus.
Our final big Monday before Champ Week. Number 5 Duke takes on Virginia Tech in Blacksburg at 7 Eastern. Then number 8 Kansas hosts Texas at Allen Fieldhouse. Both games are on ESPN and the ESPN app. Big Monday presented by Joseph A. Bank. As Colorado now with their largest lead.
Bruins were off to a hot start. They got to get back to getting the ball inside. They've had some putbacks, a dunk, a nice little and one. They've got to be aggressive.
Chris Wilkes gets the roll. And the McDonald's All-American, former Indiana Mr. Basketball, like his head coach, Steve Alford. George King goes over the top of the backboard. It's out of bounds to UCLA. That first matchup this year was King, who led Colorado with a season-high 26. And he hit those 6 threes. It was Colorado's first win at Pauley Pavilion. UCLA leads the all-time series 11-3, and the Bruins have won 7 of the 9 matchups since Colorado left the Big 12 to join what was the Pac-10 to make it the Pac-12.
And this is a different Bruins team than the first time they hooked up. That team that night did not have a good offensive identity. Guys didn't know who was going to step up. This team, totally different.
Won't go for Holiday, who made a good move. Saved by Colorado, loose ball picked up. McKinley Wright can't control it, and it stays with UCLA.
Love the hustle by Thomas Welsh, getting on the floor. Every possession counts. We talked about making your own luck. You don't want to sit back on Selection Sunday and hope. You want to dive on the floor right now, do everything you can to get wins.
Welsh still scoreless. He's hustling, but he's struggling to put the ball in the basket, which UCLA will need. Alex Olashinsky airballs a 3. After a sluggish start for Colorado, Steve Alford's team was leading by as many as 6 early. The Buffs have made 8 of their last 14, and the Buffaloes again lead it by 6. They've hit 5 threes. They're out rebounding UCLA. It's also critical, Corey, for the Bruins to avoid playing on the first day in Vegas of the Pac-12 tournament, to stay in the top 4 and get that automatic berth into the quarterfinals and get the bye.
If you can put yourself in a position where you don't have to play an extra game.
Naaman Wright, 3.
Wow, everybody touched the ball on that Colorado Buffs possession. Swinging it around, passing up good shots for great shots.
Well, Tad Boyle's team, their first year in the league, they did win 4 games in 4 days to win the Pac-12 tournament in LA when it was held at Staples Center.
Very talented team.
Thomas Welsh, corner 3 with his first points of the ball game.
And I think Thomas Welsh is probably the best shooting big man in the conference. His high post jumper, his 3-point shot, they need to involve him more in the offense.
39% outside the arc. Collier answers. 7 threes for Colorado.
It's a little easy right now for the Buffs. UCLA has to increase the ball pressure. They're passing the ball around to each other way too easy. The Bruins got to disrupt that.
Aaron Holiday nails one for the Bruins.
What a luxury for Steve Alford. In a play like that where the crowd starts to get into it, Holiday with the silencer.
UCLA's made 6 outside the arc. McKinley Wright, too strong. George King, the offensive rebound. Naaman Wright. And the rebound, Jalen Hands clearing it for UCLA.
Waiting for Jalen Hands to make his entrance into this game. Turns it over right there.
Poor pass from Jalen Hands, 5th UCLA turnover.
He was so big in that win at Arizona. Unbelievable night for Jalen Hands.
Dom Collier, another 3. 3 threes for Collier.
I thought shoot-around was this morning. Apparently, it's still shoot-around right now.
We were there for that one, too.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Skittles. Taste the rainbow. And Old Spice. Je ne parle même pas français. Ooh la la.
A Sonic blockbuster. North Carolina Duke coming up next week. Game day will be there. Here, Colorado and UCLA, both teams starting to heat up. There are the 3-point numbers, and in fact, the last 6 made field goals in this game have all been 3.
Right there, you can just tell both teams shooting it very well, but those numbers are a bit high. If you're both coaches, you're a little bit upset about those numbers. You got to get a hand up in guys' faces, and those percentages will drop. But we're looking at uncontested threes on both sides.
In Colorado, the first time around against UCLA, they made 11 of 22 from outside the arc in their win against the Bruins. And a foul, Tyler Bay, way out near midcourt, and it's the second on the freshman. 6th team foul. The next one will put UCLA into the bonus. Lucas Seaworth coming back.
Getting a little too aggressive. It's your job to step out on these ball screens. But you cannot body up the guards when they're trying to dribble the ball.
Prince Ali, 3, 7 in a row. In terms of the last field goals made in this game have all been threes. First points for Prince Ali. Dom Collier, do we have 8? That's 8 in a row. The last 8 field goals have all been threes.
Now you see me, now you don't. Dom Collier with the disappearing act for the wide open 3. Good find by McKinley.
Senior stepping up in his final home game, 4 of 5 from outside the arc. Deep 3. That's short from Holiday, and McKinley Wright clears. McKinley Wright blocked at the rim. Loose ball. And on a tie-up, it belongs to UCLA.
Roxy, when coaches tell guys to move without the ball, this is what they mean. Don't just stand around. A nice little back cut by Collier. He loses the defender. He's able to knock down a wide open 3.
He scored the last 9 points for the Buffaloes. Final minute of this first half. The teams have combined for 16 threes here in the first half. I know Bill Walton sitting at home going, Roxy, what's the record for the most threes made in a half? Bill, I don't know. Another 3, Prince Ali. So the last 9 field goals made in this game have been threes.
Back-to-back threes right there by the young man with the best name in college basketball, Prince Ali.
Tuesday on ESPN, this should be a good one to the Dean Dome. Number 10, North Carolina and Miami at 9 Eastern. Super Tuesday presented by Boost Mobile. Heels and Canes are also available on the ESPN app, the U and UNC. So the teams in this game, they have combined to make 9 two-point field goals, 17 three-pointers.
Great shooting, but somebody's got to D up. Like I said, wide open threes without a defender around. Both coaches are going to make that adjustment at halftime.
2-second differential between the shot and half clock. Both teams are shooting it better outside the arc than from inside in terms of percentage as well. McKinley Wright drives, the kick, Naaman Wright, corner 3, another one!
We have to be witnessing history right now, Roxy.
The final 10 field goals of the first half, all threes, and it's a 9-point lead for Colorado. They're 10 of 20 from downtown.
Drive, draw, and dish as another 3 finds the bottom of the net, and the Buffs have the Coors Event Center rocking.
The seniors and Colorado have responded on Senior Day in Boulder. UCLA in a game they desperately need to get, down 9 at the half to Colorado. Halftime in Boulder, 45-36, Colorado with the lead after the break. We'll go to the studio for the ESPNU halftime report. Halftime in Boulder, and three-point shooting on display from both teams in the first half. The final 10 made field goals in the first half were all threes as Colorado leads UCLA 45-36 at the break. Along with former Arizona standout Corey Williams, Roxy Bernstein with you. Three-point shooting, and three-point shooting. Corey.
Well, that's what I did in college, and as a shooter, I'm excited watching this game. You always want guys to find you, play with guys who can create opportunities, and Colorado's done an outstanding job in this first half, passing the ball, hitting guys in a good spot, hitting them in their rhythm.
Shooter!
It's exciting to watch. Man down right there, the penetration kick. And when you're a shooter, all you want is a decent pass and a good look, and it's contagious. Everybody's in on the act. Colorado shooting extremely well from behind the arcs, but they're being very unselfish. And boy, I tell you, UCLA's got to run them off the line because this could continue in the second half.
Colorado hit 10 threes in the first half. They were 10 for 20 outside the arc. The Bucks were only 4 of 10 inside the arc and had only 4 points in the paint in the first half. UCLA 8 of 14 shot a better percentage than Colorado, but they were only 5 of 17 inside the arc. Again, the teams combined for 18 threes in the first half of this game. Keep in mind, last year when UCLA won here in Boulder, the only matchup between these two teams, they hit a program record 19 three-pointers, putting up 104 points. But it's Colorado, a 9-point lead, second half straight ahead. You're watching the Pac-12 on ESPN. A look at Pearl Street here in Boulder. The home finale for the Buffs as they lead UCLA 45-36. And again, critical game for UCLA. They come into today tied for third with Stanford in the Pac-12. And it's critical to stay in the top 4 to get that bye into the quarterfinals at the Pac-12 tournament. Colorado playing for seeding as well. They're tied with Arizona State, 7-9 in the league, but still have an opportunity to climb the ladder, and they could use the win today to help their own cause going into Vegas.
A win today, plus do a little damage in Vegas, and the Buffs could find themselves getting mentioned.
Dom Collier, the senior who made the start today on Senior Day, his final home game, leading all scorers in the game, 14 points to pace Colorado, 4 threes in the first half. Aaron Holiday leading UCLA with 12 as McKinley Wright missing a 2, and it goes out of bounds. Stays with Colorado, and both Holiday and Jalen Hands couldn't control the rebound. But it's fitting that he would miss the shot, considering the last 10 field goals made in this game have been threes. And an offensive foul on George King, his first.
Seeing that called a lot lately in college basketball. Guys not able to get the separation with their first step, using that chicken wing, we used to call it back in the day, to get open. That's a no-no.
Buffs trying to snap a 3-game slide here. Chris Wilkes down the lane. Swatted by George King, saved by Wilkes. Colorado comes away with it. Collier trying to pick up where he left off when he hit 3 consecutive threes in the first half. Late in the first half, helping Colorado to a 9-point lead. Thomas Welsh missing that 3. G.T. Goleman ends the run of 3-pointers made. How dare he go inside for a layup?
Well, that's where they're going to make the difference up. The Bruins have to go back to their interior game, get the ball in the block, try to find Welsh.
I see you, George King. He gets the theme.
George King, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. The Buffs still living lavish from behind the 3-point line.
Largest lead for Colorado. The Buffs have made 11 of 22 from outside the arc. Chris Wilkes misses that look. Rebound, McKinley Wright, the 4th. Long outlet intercepted by Wilkes. The freshman takes it right back for UCLA. Gigi Goleman in the baseline of the basket, tries the reverse and gets the roll.
Nice versatility right there out of Goleman. He's a threat to shoot the jump shot from the outside, but don't see that too often.
Is there a risk for both teams of falling in love with a three because they're dropping so consistently?
Yeah, I mean, the shot goes in, the crowd goes wild, and the next thing you know, you're looking for that haymaker every time instead of playing to whatever the defense gives you.
Tyler Bay and a foul on the drive. It's on Gigi Goleman, his second. That's the last 7 field goals for Colorado that have been made have been threes.
This is what it looks like when a freshman tries to attack a senior on senior day. The denial by George King, and at the other end, George King transition. I'll take all 3 of those. Senior day, he's having a big game for Colorado right now.
And Gigi Goleman gets the rebound. I guess that's what happens when you try to go inside the arc then for Colorado.
Buffs have done a great job of breaking the defense down off the dribble and then passing back out for the 3.
Thomas Welsh, that's a 2. And the rebound and a foul. It's on Goleman, his 3rd.
That's 2 quick fouls for Goleman. Steve Alford going to leave him out there.
I wonder at some point if Steve Alford would go back to that smaller lineup now that Goleman's got 3 and bring Prince Ali in with his group and go with the 4 guards surrounding Thomas Welsh, which at times has had some success for UCLA.
Well, I think right now, down 8 to 10 points, he wants to stay with that big lineup for rebounding purposes, but you're right, after a certain point, they may have to turn to the scoring.
George King steps in, rattles out the 2. Thomas Welsh clears for the Bruins. Intercepted McKinley Wright. Collier spots up, rims off the 3. Aaron Holiday to the basket. Offensive foul. Second on Aaron Holiday.
There's no setup move right here. Aaron Holiday's going straight to the rim, lowers his shoulder, and McKinley moves in the way, puts his hands up. That's the key. Get your hands out of there. Make it easy for the officials to call the charge.
The lob, Dallas Walton to finish. And a foul on UCLA for an and 1. The 3rd on Holiday.
Boy, they put Aaron Holiday in a blender on that play. That's a tough defensive assignment. First he gets crushed on the screen, then they throw the lob. He still tries to make a play, but you can't get up there with the 7-footer. That's an easy slam dunk for Dallas Walton.
74% are misses as the Buffs have matched their largest lead with 16 minutes to play.
If I'm Aaron Holiday, I'm kind of ticked off. Guys got to call the screen on that one.
Chris Wilkson won. It's on Dallas Walton, his 3rd.
Nice answer right there by the Bruins. Right back to the rim, playing strong. They're not going to let this one get away from them.
8-point lead for Colorado. UCLA, the Bruins, in desperate need of a win here in Mile High country. But they trail the hot shooting Buffs. Colorado leading UCLA by 8. 15:51 remaining here in this Sunday afternoon in Boulder, and the Buffs with some hot shooting. They have made 11 threes in this game.
And Roxy, it's the point guard's job to create offense. And that's what you want. For all the kids watching, this is your job as a point guard. When you get the ball, you're looking to create. There's the ball screen. Did it create a shot for you? No. A lob for the big fella. Great ball movement. All the assists. That's what's got the Buffs riding high right now, is the creation of shots for each other.
And McKinley Wright with 7 assists already in this game. Now only 2 points for the freshman from North Robindale, Minnesota, outside of Minneapolis. But he already has the freshman single-season assist record. He eclipsed Chauncey Billups recently to have the #1 spot among all freshmen that have played at Colorado.
That's a heck of a stat. We all know the player that Chauncey Billups went on to be in the NBA, and It's just refreshing to see a young man out there who can beat you a lot of different ways. I'll beat you with my scoring, but I can also beat you with my assist game.
Chauncey's brother Rodney is here today, a former assistant to Tad Boyle here at Colorado, now in his second season as the head coach at Denver University just down the road. Recruited a lot of these kids. George King has a look. And there's Thomas Welsh clearing for UCLA. Waits for traffic to clear.
Coach Steve Alford electing to go to that 2-3 zone out of the break and try to upset the tempo here.
Gigi Goleman, corner three.
That's a pretty shot right there. Gigi Goleman had all the time in the world. A lot of times you don't rotate to a big man because you figure he can't shoot, but what a great shot.
7 of his 9 have come since halftime, and he pulls UCLA within 4. George King missing that look, and Jalen Hands clears. Thomas Welsh running the floor. And the pass just too far in front. He tried to save it, and it's taken back by Colorado's McKinley Wright off the window. Chris Wilkes counters and draws the foul. First on Lucas Seward. And Chris Wilkes will shoot a pair here. Chris Wilkes, who wears number 13. He wanted to wear number 31, but that's retired.
Yeah, that's not going to be available.
Special NBA Sunday matchup for you on ESPN. Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons and the Sixers in D.C. to take on Bradley Beal. And the Wizards, our coverage tips, NBA Countdown at 7 Eastern on ESPN and the ESPN app. As it's retired for Reggie Miller and Ed O'Bannon. And 31 was the number that Chris Wilkes wore in high school. And his favorite player is Reggie Miller. But he wears number 13, which of course is reversed from 31. Ten to shoot. Lucas Seward, and he picks up the foul on Chris Wilkes, his second. Just over 14 minutes remaining. And for UCLA, it's been an up and down ride for them in league play. They jumped out to a great start. They started Pac-12 play at 4-1, but then they lost 4 of their next 6 before then turning it around, winning 6 out of 7 until they lost in Salt Lake City on Thursday night to the University of Utah's Naaman Wright, the miss, and a foul going for the rebound, and it's on McKinley Wright, his second. And the Bruins just looking for some consistency here heading into Las Vegas.
And they're going to need that. And right now, with 14 minutes remaining in the game, you're starting to see their defense take shape. They've gotten a couple of stops here, and they followed it up with some transition baskets.
There are the standings. The Bruins tied for 3rd with Stanford, while Colorado tied with Arizona State for 8th. As Chris Wilkes, a corner 3. And UCLA has come back to within 2 from down 10. Wilkes has 7 since halftime.
He is not your average freshman. Lots of confidence, taking the ball to the rim, knocking down open shots.
McKinley Wright, the miss. The rebound, Prince Ali.
Buffs have gone cold on the perimeter shooting. UCLA taking advantage.
Thomas Welsh, spin. Great footwork by Welsh.
I've said it from the beginning, you've got to get Welsh involved. He's a great scorer, and sometimes they go to him as an afterthought, but he always produces.
We are tied at 52 with 12:56 to play as UCLA has rallied from down 10.
In a game of threes, get your big man involved. Right here, Welsh with the spin and the kiss. Bruins got it all tied up.
Do you believe in second chances? Walker, 40 and Well, here is the new beginning.
Knocked out the shot clock. Are you serious?
Get ready right now with Champ Week. Champ Week, presented by Prism on ESPN.
The championship week. Champ Week starts Wednesday. As we're getting down to that time of the year, and UCLA has come back from 10 down, outscoring Colorado 16-7 since halftime to pull even. As the Bruins, 6 of 10 from the field here in the second half, have scored 6 straight and a 12-2 run. And UCLA 60% from the field in the second half. And Colorado, who had a hot shooting first half, has made just 1 3 since halftime after making 10 in the first half. And again, you have that danger, Corey, of maybe falling too much in love with that 3.
Yeah, you're trying to get it all back in one play, and UCLA doing a great job of contesting shots now, not getting beat so much off the dribble. But the Buffs missing shots that they were making in the first half. Now you wonder if they'll start to hesitate, or will they return to form and start knocking them down?
Collier for 3. And the rebound hustling is Lucas Seward. Naaman Wright on the drive. And the rebound, Alex Olashinsky. Here comes UCLA. Deflected out by Dom Collier. Holiday might be a little out of control and forcing it a bit. He got off to a good start as Aaron Holiday jumped out of the gates with 9 points in the first 8 minutes of this game. But he has only 3 since.
A lot of his teammates have been stepping up to kind of tighten the gap, but Holiday's a guy, you know, he can turn it on whenever he has to. He has to pick and choose his spots.
Here he is with the left hand. And the rebound, Naaman Wright. Lucas Seward hosting up Chris Wilkes. Too strong. And there's Holiday clearing, and then Sazem going out off of Deshaun Schwartz. It'll stay with UCLA, 11:40 to go in a tie game in Boulder. Colorado struggling since halftime, and UCLA starting to put the clamps down. Here's why this is such a big game for UCLA. There's their resume. And the Bruins 19-9 overall, tied for third in the Pac-12 with Stanford. BPI of 61 and RPI of 48. Right now, Joe Lunardi has them among the first 4 out. But they do have some quality wins, including beating Kentucky on a neutral floor, winning in Tucson when Arizona had a full squad. But Steve Alford's team right now, according to our bracketologist Joe Lunardi, has his team still on the outside looking in. Then you have Utah and Washington among the next 4 out. And that's why this final week is so critical for UCLA in the Pac-12 tournament, as well as the other bubble teams in the Pac-12. UCLA will have 1 game next week. They're at USC as Prince Ali, the miss, the rebound, Lazar Nikolic for Colorado. While the Buffs will play at Utah next Saturday as a foul on Prince Ali. First on Ali. Washington will be at home. They will host, along with Washington State, the Oregon schools. And did Oregon play their way into the conversation again with the overtime win over Arizona last night?
Good win over the Arizona squad. Obviously without Coach Miller and Alonzo Trier, but still a quality win for the Ducks. There are a lot of teams trying to play their way in. You know, leave no doubt. Go out, get the wins, and you can rest easy on Selection Sunday.
Elijah Brown came up huge for Oregon last night, but what a tremendous performance under the scrutiny, clearly, what DeAndre Ayton's been dealing with the last 48 hours to perform like he did last night.
That was the most impressive thing I took away from the game, was with that kind of pressure and scrutiny in the student section, to be focused and go out and play. Very rare you see a freshman with that much composure. Most guys would probably lash out and have a horrible game, but he played big.
Lucas Seward, that's a long 2, and the rebound, Aaron Holiday. And you got to figure that Holiday, along with Ayton, are the favorites for Pac-12 Player of the Year. Holiday the miss.
Yeah, right there with DeAndre Ayton. He's had a monster season for the Bruins. Plays almost 37 minutes a game. He doesn't come out, and he still shoots a great percentage. And that's a lot to ask.
Deshaun Schwartz drops it off. Lucas Seward missing, but a foul. And Colorado will head to the line.
Buffs fortunate to get some free throws here. Bobbled the ball and may have gotten away with a little walk, but...
Second foul on Alex Olashinsky. Lucas Seward 4 for 4 from the line. Will shoot 2 here. He has 10 points off the bench, all in the first half. Colorado scoreless for the last 4.5 minutes until Seward just nailed that free throw. Sports Center at night follows 76ers Wizards. John Buccigross and Kevin Connors are bringing the best moments of the Rockets and Nuggets, with Houston looking to extend their winning streak to 12. Plus everything you need to hear and see from Tiger Woods' final round at the Honda Classic. And an unforgettable SC feature titled The Black 14. SC at night, 10:30 Eastern on ESPN and the ESPN app.
That is a must-see, that SC feature. Great story. A lot of people don't know that that existed and that happened in terms of college football.
Foul going for the rebound, and it's on Lucas Seward of Colorado, his second. 9:57 left here, Colorado by 2. Despite missing their last 6 shots in the field, but UCLA is scoreless for over 3 minutes now. Holiday, who's been quiet since the early hot start. Aaron Holiday the kick. Chris Smith open 3 for the lead. It rattles out. Prince Ali spins it back in with the reverse.
Always difficult to rebound out of the zone. There you see the Bruins taking advantage on the missed 3. Prince Ali with a nice putback in traffic.
They're tied again with 9:15 to play. Deshaun Schwartz the pull-up. Rattles out. Alex Olashinsky clears. UCLA looking for their first lead here of the second half. They led by as many as 6 early as they got off to a great start. Have not led since it was 14-13. Chris Smith down the lane. Picked up. Alex Olashinsky gives UCLA the lead.
The Bruins taking advantage in the paint. Hitting them where it hurts. Great interior presence right now for UCLA.
Corner 3. Rattles in for Lazar Nikolic. The redshirt freshman playing with a banged up left hand. He injured it about a week and a half ago at Washington State.
And that 3 got this crowd right back in the game. That's what they've been waiting on.
Holiday. The miss out of bounds, and it belongs to Colorado. So Nikolic, who has made now only 7 threes on the season, and he hits a big one to give Colorado the lead again.
And he's a guy that was kind of an afterthought in terms of the offense. They swung it to him in the corner, and he pulled the trigger, knocked it down, got the crowd back into the game, got the Buffs the lead, and we'll see if they can capitalize on that little bit of momentum.
12 threes now for Colorado, but only 2 in the second half.
Tad Boyle starting to work his starters back into the lineup, and you kind of feel like they'll be out here for the duration.
And a foul as Dominic Collier draws it on Chris Smith. Third foul on Smith. 1-point lead for Colorado. UCLA on the road, searching for a huge road win against the Buffs. In Boulder on this Sunday afternoon, and a 1-point lead that Colorado's clinging to over UCLA in a critical game for the Bruins, the home finale and senior day for Colorado and the Buffs, jockeying for seeding at the Pac-12 tournament. But for UCLA, there's so much on the line. And Corey, the Bruins really need Thomas Welsh and Aaron Holiday to show up here over the final 7:42.
Those are the guys who can score with the most ease, so you want to try to create situations for them. You don't want them just running back and forth, killing time. You want to run the offense through them, let them create. Welsh is a player who can score at a high percentage. Find him on the block, find him at the high post, let him contribute to the offense.
Dominic Collier shooting 2. 3 for 3 at the line, and his first point of the second half. He had 14, including 4 threes in the first half. And a 2-time Colorado Mr. Basketball back in high school gives the Buffs a 3-point lead.
Talk about home court advantage. The Buffs, 4 of 18 from the floor and still leading this game.
Ball stripped from Chris Smith. Collier, 3. Season high 19 for Collier, 8 straight for the Buffs, and they're up 6. Kept alive by Thomas Welsh. Blocked by Dallas Walton. Last touch by Colorado. It stays with UCLA.
This is what Buff fans have been waiting for. The transition to kick, and why not? Collier from the corner gets the crowd right back into this game.
And a foul committed by George King, his second. 6:36 to go, Colorado by 6. Buffs trying for the season sweep of Steve Alford and UCLA. Which they have never done.
And Roxy, when are we going to hear from Jalen Hands?
Chris Wilkes blocked at the rim by George King. McKinley Wright. 10 straight for Colorado.
You got to communicate in transition.
Timeout UCLA. Colorado has pushed the lead out to 8.
This is the second time the freshman has tested the senior at the rim and been denied. And in transition, you got to pick up the ball. Nobody picks up the Buffs in transition. Easy too.
So 32nd timeout. Colorado has stepped it up at both ends of the floor, and George King with 3 blocked shots in this game in his home finale. And he was emotional before the game, Corey. We saw some tears, knowing that this was the final home game for George King. It was 22nd in Colorado history in scoring, the 5th most made threes in school history. And McKinley Wright, the freshman, with 8 assists. And helping out the seniors, Collier and King have come up big.
George King, one of the most athletic players in the conference. There you see the turnover.
And a whistle off the ball. It's a foul against Wilkes and a 1-and-1 for King.
King obviously stronger than Wilkes, trying to work him into the post and get that isolation post up, but Wilkes got called for the contact.
George King 1 for 2 at the line. 76% on the year.
You touched on the importance of senior day. George King, tremendous athlete. You're not dunking on me in my house on senior day. That's not going to happen.
Since UCLA took the lead, 11 straight for Colorado. King, a fifth-year senior, played as a true freshman, then redshirted, and has played each of the last 3 seasons. And 2 years ago, he led the Pac-12 in three-point field goal percentage as Colorado has matched their largest lead of the game. UCLA in desperate need of a basket. And Holiday, a heady play, draws the foul on the freshman Nikolic.
Super smart play right there by Holiday. Get him in the air, get the contact, still get it to the rim. Well, Rox, I want to go back a little bit. You talked about how Colorado's bench was outstanding. And what Tad Boyle was able to do in the second half was to rest his starters and not lose any ground, and then put his guys back in, and they pushed the lead out to 10. Give credit to that Colorado bench. They took the court for 7 or 8 minutes and held their own, and now the Buffs enjoy a lead.
First point of the second half for Holiday. Misses the second. He's just 2 for 4 at the line.
Plenty of time left, but
what a move by McKinley Wright.
It's not going to be good if you get shaken out of your shoes like that.
Largest lead for the Buffs.
Where has Jalen Hands been for the Bruins?
In and out for Chris Wilkes. The Bruins have gone cold.
Only 2 shots attempted by him so far.
McKinley Wright got it back. George King. 3!
We are witnessing a storybook ending for George King. His last game at Coors Event Center, he's having a ball.
17-1 run for Colorado to go up 14.
Right here, that's just a freak move from the playground in transition. But at the other end, senior day, why not? Let it fly, leave it all on the court. George King and the Buffs making a run here against the Bruins.
Colorado has made a season best 14 three-pointers. They're 14 of 29 from 3 in the game. They've made only 8 two-point field goals today. And Dominic Collier, a season-high 19 points for the senior in his final home game. Collier has hit 5 of the Buffs' 14 threes.
Answering the call. Sometimes they haven't been great passes, but it doesn't matter. When you find your stroke and you're in rhythm, it's all day long. Collier's been in his zone. He's not holding anything back. Like we said, leave it all on the court. Senior day, don't leave any shot untaken. That's the rule.
A 17-1 run for Colorado since UCLA took the lead. There's Collier. His career high is 21, which he put up against Washington last season. George King, the other senior, with 14. So the 2 seniors have played vital roles for the Buffs, leading Colorado in scoring in this one. And UCLA has gone cold to the absolute worst possible time. The Bruins have made only 2 of their last 14 shots.
And most coaches will tell you that's okay if you continue to defend. But defensive breakdowns by the Bruins have gotten this lead to where it is right now.
Make it 2 of their last 15 now as Holiday misses the 3. Blocked by Gigi Goleman.
Great play by Goleman, timed it perfectly.
Chris Wilkes to the basket.
Wow.
You like that one, didn't you?
That was unbelievable. Great block and a great finish. The Bruins, they have the talent, but it's go time. With under 4 minutes to go, they need more situations like that.
He doesn't need the elevation to help him get up.
I saw what you did there.
Shot clock winding down. Nikolic as Holiday clears. Prince Ali has an open look, knocks it down. Quick 5 straight for UCLA.
Know how talented the Bruins are. Everyone on the court for them right now can shoot. It's just a matter of them getting stops.
And the Bruins have clawed back to within 9. Still 3:09 to play. UCLA trying to make one last run. Quick 5 straight from UCLA. They're within 9. 3:09 to play on the road. And today, this is an enormous game for UCLA. We look at the bubble teams in the Pac-12 and the resumes, and the Bruins right now, according to Joe Lunardi, are on the outside looking in at the field, with Arizona State and USC in the field, and the Trojans among the last 4 in. And then you have Utah and Washington among the second 4 out of the field right now.
Well, for the Bruins, the formula is pretty simple. Get to 20 wins and knock off a team like USC, and then you put yourself in a great situation. Very simple. Beat who's in front of you in the next week, and you should be okay.
Some concern for Steve Alford and UCLA, who are in search of their 20th win today, but find themselves down 9 of the Buffs on senior day here in Boulder. Now full court pressure from the Bruins, and a foul was committed by Prince Ali, his second. McKinley Wright will go to the line as Colorado win the double bonus. Wright will shoot 2.
It's always a huge advantage when you're playing with a solid point guard like McKinley Wright. Gets to crunch time, teams go to junk defenses and traps, and if you've got a solid point guard who can handle the ball, it makes life a lot easier.
First trip to the line for McKinley Wright, 77% foul shooter. Has been Pac-12 Player of the Week already once this season. Nine points for Wright. Colorado is the lead, back at double figures.
Right now, Tad Boyle subbing offense for defense. With 3 minutes to go, it's already that point of the game.
1 out of 2. Colorado goes zone. Chris Wilkes to the basket. Throws up a wild shot, and Colorado comes away with it.
Could have worked for a better shot if you're the Bruins. Still plenty of time.
Problem is, Colorado's a good free throw shooting team if he's trying to play the foul game.
You got to defend without fouling. Now you're late in the possession here, and it's probably going to end in some sort of pick and roll. UCLA is going to have to defend this well.
5 to shoot. McKinley Wright. And Prince Ali gets the rebound.
Great defense there by Welsh, contesting the shot, forcing the miss.
Holiday. And a foul call. And it's on McKinley Wright. The crowd doesn't like it. Third on the Colorado freshman. 1-1 for Aaron Holiday.
Holiday keeps his arm in this time, doesn't push off. And the rule is if you make contact while both players are in motion, that is a foul on the defender.
.213 to go, 1-1 for Aaron Holiday.
Steve Alford inserting some defensive wingspan into the game. They're going to try to set this press and force the Buffs into a turnover after the free throw.
And Holiday just 3 for 6 at the line. This is an 84% foul shooter on the year. Buffs break it, name and right to Lucas Seward, who will back it out.
And Roxy, you wonder with a high minute guy like Holiday, is that fatigue?
Plus altitude?
Absolutely, absolutely.
As we are a mile high. 5,374 feet, the Coors Event Center. For UCLA, Pauley Pavilion's 384 feet above sea level. The tip from Lucas Seward. McKinley Wright, though, is down for Colorado. .140 to go. Buffs up 11. The concern for Colorado is McKinley Wright, who appears to be clutching that right ankle.
Wondering if he rolled that ankle. Very awkward layup attempt, came down on the baseline. We'll take a look at it here.
Seems like the ankle got held up and he went up awkwardly when he planted right there, and look at him kind of dangle the ankle as he was spinning to make the layup.
I think that's the last we'll see of him. See if the Buffs can bring it home from here, but you're right. Twisted his ankle on the jump stop. Kind of a freak injury, and UCLA has 90 seconds to make it happen.
Holiday weaving through the defense. Chris Wilkes hits a three.
Big time shot, Chris Wilkes.
20 for Wilkes. Colorado attacks the press. Naaman Wright gets the roll. And that kind of a day for Colorado.
Maybe the worst decision of the afternoon.
Jalen Hands a three.
And there he is, Jalen Hands out of nowhere with the triple. Gives the Bruins a chance to set this press again.
76-69. And the press, Nikolic.
With no point guard out there, the Buffs have to make good decisions.
And a steal, Hands knocked it away. Holiday, and a foul on Collier. First on Collier.
Sorry, I got to tell you, I'm so impressed with Holiday. They get the steal, and in transition, he's got the pass ahead for the wide open three, but he'd rather get to the line, stop the clock, and try to put 2 points up, and then get that press set.
McKinley Wright, the scores table, getting set to return. 2 shots for Holiday, who struggled at the line today. So
Boy.
McKinley Wright coming back.
This is big. Your point guard comes back on a bad wheel. There's 48 seconds to go. It's going to be pressure. I'm going to find out how injured he is really quick.
The lead was 14 with 4:47 to play. UCLA has cut it to 5. And a foul on Jalen Hands. First on the freshman from San Diego. Double bonus, 2 shots for Lucas Seward, who's 6 for 6 from the line today, 79%.
You know, so impressed with the Bruins. They were on the ropes and have cut this to 5. With some good defense, made a few plays on the offensive end as well.
And a miss. The Buffs have opened the door.
They've opened the front porch. This is amazing. They've got to convert free throws. You know it's going to be a free throw parade for the rest of the game. Just got to make them.
Holiday gets inside, rattles it home. Timeout, UCLA.
How special is Aaron Holiday? Taking it all upon himself. That was 1-on-3 with no help. Takes it in. There's a little bit of contact right there. No call. Still gets it in off the glass. Right there. Got to be careful. Don't want to talk to the officials after you make a big play.
So that is the final timeout for UCLA. Colorado still has 1. Our final big Monday before Champ Week. Number 5 Duke taking on Virginia Tech in Blacksburg at 7 Eastern. Then number 8 Kansas hosting Texas at Allen Fieldhouse. Presented by Joseph A. Bank. Both games are on ESPN and the ESPN app. Duke Tech, Jayhawks, Longhorns. Coming up on Monday. 4-point game, 39.9 to play. The ball comes in at George King. Let's see how quickly UCLA decides to foul. They don't. Ball knocked free, picked up by Dominic Collier. And now Jalen Hands does foul with 31.4 to go. That's almost disaster for Colorado.
It was so close to being a disaster right there. UCLA couldn't come up with the loose ball in the corner. You never want to enter the ball to the corner late game situations when you know there's going to be pressure. It's just a a no-no defensively.
You're helping them set up the trap.
Absolutely.
One more for McKinley Wright.
They enter this ball to the corner. George King's got nowhere to go, and he loses it. Bruins just couldn't come up with the handle.
One for two. Holiday gets to the basket. Throws it away, the steal by George King. And a foul committed by UCLA. Fourth on Chris Wilkes.
And how fitting that the senior, George King, gets in the passing lane, uses his length, and comes up with the biggest steal of the night for Colorado.
The senior hits the first, 15 points, 4 rebounds, 3 blocks, 3 steals in his final home game. This can make it a 3-possession game. Gets the roll. Holiday. 3. UCLA out of timeouts, and they foul. Hands will put Collier at the line.
You know, Roxy, if Aaron Holiday had just a little more help tonight, that may have been the difference. It's not over yet, but you can just see the last 5 or 6 possessions for the Bruins. He's been doing it all. A tremendous player with an extremely bright future.
Collier 4 for 4 at the line. A season high 19 points. Misses the first. Missed both.
Get the quick 2 and foul.
Hands will pull up. Misses the 3. Welsh has it knocked free. Chris Wilkes misses the 3. Out of bounds. Colorado ball.
The Bruins did not need those 3s, Roxy. All they had to do was get the 2 and foul.
Steve Alford wants to review to see if indeed it was off of UCLA. There are 3.4 seconds to go. They're reviewing it to see who it went out of bounds off of. Welsh and Seward were lunging for the ball.
And they may have a point. That does look like Welsh is trying to bring the ball back with his right arm, but it still goes out of bounds.
Did it hit Seward after it hit Welsh on the way out?
Seward's going towards the baseline. Welsh is trying to bring it back into play, and the ball goes out. Looked like it might have been off Seward.
And again, the ruling on the floor is Colorado ball.
Right here,
under review.
You're going to see Welsh trying to bring it back into the field of play, but the ball hits Seward's hands right there and continues to go out of bounds.
You think it should go to UCLA?
I think it's Bruin ball. But as I always tell you, when have I ever agreed with the officials?
You last laced it up for Arizona in 96?
Exactly. Last time I saw the court was 96.
When they put you at the free throw line.
Put me at the free throw line to ice them.
In 96.
Yeah. I never had a problem when they called fouls for me. It was the fouls they called on me.
You never committed a foul, did you?
Not that I can
In
recall.
your 4-year career?
They were misunderstandings. That's what they were.
This is still being reviewed. And you saw how tight it was, how tough of a call this is. 4-point game with 3.4 seconds remaining. Here's one more look. Again, the ruling on the floor, it's a Colorado ball, last touch by UCLA.
Welsh is trying to bring that ball back into the field of play and can't.
Do you see enough to overturn the call?
I see Seward's hand pushing the ball out of bounds. I don't understand how they can come back with Colorado ball. But I gotta say, I don't necessarily agree, and I know it's the end of game and it was a scramble situation, but the Bruins had plenty of time to get a quick 2 and then set their pressure and maybe get another free throw situation out of it. But instead, they went to consecutive back-to-back three-point shots, and that cost them a lot of time, even if it is UCLA ball right now. They've got a chance to maybe run an inbounds play for a 3, and then who knows?
3.4 to go, and they're still trying to figure this one out. And this is a critical call because, okay, it's a 2-possession game with 3.4 to go, but we've seen some nutty things happen before, and they want to be sure they get this one right. They give it to Colorado. And Tad Boyle will send in senior walk-on Josh Repine in the game here with the Buffs up 4. Getting the senior in there here on senior day. Probably keeping him away from the ball, though.
Class act by Tad Boyle. Get him out of the way, away from the action.
He's way in the front court, way away from everybody. Nikolic lobs it in. McKinley right to the basket. Will run out the clock, and Colorado has won. 80-76, the Buffs win it, and a season-best 14 threes for Tad Boyle. They sweep UCLA this season.
A missed opportunity by the Bruins, but a great effort on senior day by Colorado. Some great shooting.
Final score, Colorado 80, UCLA 76. For Corey Williams, I'm Roxy Bernstein. So long from Boulder. We take you to Raleigh now, Florida State and NC State.